Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. So this video that you're watching is the first official public video that I'm launching from today, that is the month of July 2021. And my basic intention to launch my channel is not only to connect with as many people as I can, but also to provide psychoeducation. Psychoeducation basically means understanding your own mind and understanding its power and using it for your own benefit. So the first modality that I'm going to introduce in this series is EFT tapping, also known as emotional freedom technique. This is an introductory video, and the further follow-up would be about healing anxiety through tapping. And not only anxiety, EFT tapping is used to heal various kind of issues, from PTSD, which is post-traumatic disorder, to depression and various other clinical issues which are highly complicated. And the issues that we face in our daily life would be like a cakewalk for EFT tapping. So the moment you start to experience tapping, you will immediately sense the benefits and the results. So I'm going to briefly describe its meaning, the science behind it, and the benefits. So let me start by introducing myself, because this is the first official video. So I'm a counseling psychologist and I've been practicing since 2013. And EFT tapping also I have been practicing with myself and then slowly with so many clients in form of kids, adults and adolescents during my career journey. I have worked in schools. I have qualified UGC NET in psychology. So I have been training children for the NET coaching, and I also provide coaching for 11th and 12th students for psychology. So during these years, I have worked in schools as a counselor and as a teacher. Currently, I'm running my own clinic by the name of Holistic Abode, where I offer individual and group healing sessions as well as counseling sessions. Apart from individual sessions, I also create online spiritual programs. To know more about me, you can read the description below and use the links. So let's start by understanding EFT tapping or emotional freedom technique. So emotional freedom technique is basically about rewiring the brain, the beliefs and emotions that we often experience and are difficult to process. So with EFT tapping, we can do many things, not only healing, we can also use it for manifestations, for goal setting, for relationship issues, for addictions and various other traumas, right from PTSD to depression. So the scope of EFT tapping is quite wide. And the best part about EFT tapping is that you can always experience it and it's just your fingertips away. So all you need is an open mind and an open heart and your fingertips to tap over the meridian points. As you begin tapping on the points, you not only process the emotions, but you also begin to release the unwanted or undesirable energy, which is no longer serving you. As you release the energy, by default, our body and mind both gets into a homeostatic state. So another benefit of EFT tapping is that it's not only a mind and body modality, something which connects the mind and body and is working on both, but it's also healing our cellular memories. So when you're working on any issue, whether it's small or big, we not only achieve freedom by releasing the negative emotions, but we also are able to replace the negative beliefs with the new empowered beliefs. Thirdly, it helps us to release the cellular memories apart from reprogramming the DNA. So I can talk about its benefits for hours, and I have a complete 30-day course on EFT tapping. If you would like to learn more about it, I will share below the description. So let's start with some basic understanding of EFT tapping. So what is EFT tapping? So EFT tapping is a blend of psychology and acupressure. So as you may be aware, if you have gone through any acupressure session, there are various points on the face and body which are pressed to release the toxins and to release the energy which is stuck in the meridians. So in the human body, there are 72,000 meridians. and they are like energy pathways, or you can imagine them like roads or pathways crossing each other. And when there is too much traffic, what will happen? The flow of vehicles gets stuck. Similar thing happens in the body. When there is excess energy or there is accumulation of energy, the energy pathways are blocked, and the prana or the chi, which we can also call as the life force, is not able to flow within the pathways, which will of course disrupt the body functioning and also how our mind functions, because mind and body are essentially the same. So when that happens through acupressure or tapping, we are basically choosing those power points that we are going to tap, and when we tap on them, we release the accumulated energy or the negative energy which is stored in the meridians. And since we are also using the part of psychology which is about speaking out everything that you're feeling, so not just you say what you feel, but you dig in deeper. So it's more than a conversation that you usually have with a counselor or a friend. So here we are going to peel layers of everything that you have been experiencing. So it's about digging your emotions, your feelings, your thoughts, and the conclusions, and going deeper and deeper to trace your unconscious beliefs. Because unless we target the unconscious beliefs, we can never get rid of the problem permanently. It may come again. So only if you focus on the root belief, or we can also call it as a bottom belief, then we can fully dissolve the issue or be free of it. So what are these EFT tapping points? Like you can see in this image, there are various power points where the meridians are meeting. So these 72,000 meridians are meeting at various junctions, and those are the points that we are going to tap when we are using EFT tapping. So the points that you can see on the image, apart from that, there are few other points. So when we do a video to specifically counter any issue, then I will show you the additional points as well. So there is top of the head, that's the first point, the eyebrows, the side of the eye. So I'm using my fingertips and very gentle tapping. It's not hard pressure. Under the eye, under the nose, under the chin, under the lower lip, the collarbone. Usually below the collarbone, we do a gentle rubbing or a massage. It's up to you whether you want to tap or you want to massage. It's the same effect, but usually this point feels better when you massage it. And the karate chop and the underarm. So these are the points that we tap. There are various other points that we can choose to tap. So one of the point is the nostril point, although it was not in the technical EFT part, but during tapping, I discovered that tapping on this point feels very, gives a lot of relief. So these are the tapping points. So tapping the power points is one aspect, a very important aspect of EFT tapping. And the next thing that we are going to talk about is the EFT Tapping Tree. Tapping Tree is basically a visual representation of how we uncover the deeper layers of an issue. So when we talk of an issue, there are various symptoms that we experience, and these symptoms are like leaves. So the symptoms can be lack of sleep, stress, tension, overthinking. All these are symptoms because they are at the superficial or top layer of the issue. As we go deeper, there are different feelings or the branches. Like in the tree, there are different branches. Similarly, in the issue, there are feelings or emotions which are representing the branches. Then the trunk of the tree is the event which happened. So for example, the event was loss of job, and the feeling was disappointment, fear, worry. All these become feelings and emotions, that is the branches. The event becomes the loss of job, and the symptoms becomes maybe you're not able to sleep, insomnia, or too much fights, anger. All this is falling under the category of symptoms. Then the last, which is the root of the tree, is actually the limiting belief which gave rise to the event. And that limiting belief is can be anything. It's something which is in the subconscious or unconscious mind. As we keep unpeeling the layers of our emotions, we keep going deeper and deeper, and slowly we are able to trace or discover the limiting belief. So the limiting belief could be, I am good for nothing. Usually the bottom belief is a very short statement. If you have found something, some very long statement as a belief, then probably it's not the bottom belief, because if you look at beliefs, there are various levels of beliefs. There will be something called as the surface beliefs, or something which is like a sub branch of the belief. So our focus in EFT tapping is to heal the symptoms, the feelings, the emotions, which is the branches. The symptoms are the leaves. The trunk is the event. So what actually happened, what they said to you, what the interaction that you had, and the limiting belief, which could be, I'm unloved, I'm ignored, I'm abandoned. It could be anything. So this is how we are going to target different levels of the issue. So EFT Tapping Blueprint, this is a very quick blueprint that we'll be using in these sessions. So first step is about addressing the most pressing issue, or MPI. We start by understanding what issue you are facing. So of course, the kind of coaching that I'll be providing on the channel would be limited to a passive style of communication where I'm talking and only you are listening. So in this style of communication, we can never provide a therapy. We can only do coaching or training. But for therapy or for specific issues, you need to, of course, see a specialist or an expert. But when we are doing coaching or when we are using tapping through the channel, we are using journal issues which you are going to customize. So for example, if you have anxiety, the whole story behind anxiety is something you are aware of. So I will be giving you prompts that you can use to modify the script to match your experience. That's most important, because in one-on-one session, there is no limitations like that. But when we talk of coaching, which is done through one-side communication, this of course has this limitation. So when we talk of most pressing issue, I may bring up any journal issue that we all face, like anger, resentment, fear, anxiety, and that is something you have to make it more specific. So a global issue could be like, I feel angry. That's a global issue. If I ask you to make it more specific, you can say, I'm angry at my boss. To make it even more specific, you can say, I'm angry at my boss because of the way he spoke to me and the words that he used. So the more we are going deeper, we are making the issue more and more specific. So I hope you have understood the meaning of most pressing issue, because at the moment, what is it that is bothering you the most? From there, ultimately our aim is to dig to the bottom belief, because the situations of people outside can only trigger us. The real cause is always within the unconscious mind. The step 2 is rating the intensity of MPI. For rating the intensity, we use a scale, an imaginary scale of 0 to 10. So if I have to ask you, how much will you rate this anxiety on a scale of 0 to 10, 0 being lowest, you are absolutely free, and 10 being you can't have more anxiety than this. So you would say that it is somewhere around, if it's very high, you would say it's somewhere around 9 or even 10. So now our focus is to first bring the MPI down to 1 or 2. Once we bring that to 1 or 2, then we further feel the different feelings related to anxiety, because no feeling comes alone. It always brings along various other cognitions, feelings, emotions. Like along anxiety, you may also have fear, worry, or the feeling of being left out. So it could be anything. So all those layers of emotions are like an onion. The more you peel, the more you find there is something beneath it. So we keep unpeeling those layers, and then slowly we land to the bottom belief. In all rounds of tapping, our basic intention is to cover all the aspects or perspective that you have about the issue. Okay. So the next is the crafting your setup statement. So once we have rated our MPI, now we will craft the setup statement. Setup statement always begins with an even though. So even though means, although I have this issue. For example, if you have a headache, you can say, even though I have this headache, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. So you may feel why a physical issue can be, or how a physical issue will be addressed through tapping, and why will I say that I love and accept myself. There are two reasons to it. Firstly, when we say even though, it's basically telling our mind that although I have this issue, but I am accepting who I am as a person. So this opens up the brain to different possibilities. So I have this anxiety, I'm still open to love and accept myself. The last part of the statement is always positive, simply because here we are making the mind understand the role of duality and how we can balance it. So I have this issue, but that doesn't mean that I resist myself, because if I resist, then I will just prolong the problem, because what you resist will always persist. Through the setup statement, we are convincing our unconscious mind that I have it, but I'm ready to heal this. Many times it happens that people are not able to say, I deeply love and accept myself. So that's not compulsory. The last part of the statement can be changed, but make sure that it is positive. So you can say, instead of I love and accept myself, you can simply say, I deeply relax, I forgive myself, or I'm open to forgiving myself, or I'm open to relaxing. Even if you say that I'm irritated and you don't want to say I relax, you can simply say I'm willing to relax, or I'm willing to learn to relax. So setup statement is a very vital part of the tapping. We prepare our brain to accept that we have this issue, but we are currently looking for a solution and we're not focusing on the problem. So when we talk of headache, then of course we will go down deeper, find out the reason, why do you have it. If you don't know, it's the subconscious mind which is going to reveal through tapping, because EFT or any other subconscious science modality will help you to access your unconscious subconscious mind. So maybe you will feel that I don't know the reason of my headache, but as you begin tapping, you will be able to discover the cause, the real cause of it. So one of the case on which I was working, a lady always had a headache whenever her husband used to travel. So as we digged deeper, initially of course she was not aware of the pattern, even that I am having it at the specific occasion or an event. But when we started to dig, we discovered that initially the husband was in an extramarital affair, and because he had confessed to his wife that he was going through it and he also apologized, their relationship was at a very weak stage. She didn't want to leave him because she had children and so many other reasons, and she was ready to give him another chance. But again, that doubt or worry was always there that he may cheat me again. So whenever he used to travel, there were other colleagues. So unconsciously she felt that what if this happens again? Because of that, this headache came, and somehow because of the headache, the husband had to cancel his travel because it was very, very severe. So this was an unconscious response. She was not at all doing it intentionally or to manipulate his decision. It was completely unconscious. But as soon as we discovered that, the trust which was missing is what we started to work on, because of course if somebody is cheated, by default your defenses will not allow you to trust that person again, even if that person has apologized for it. So they continued for their relationship counseling, and that helped to actually release the migraine. Until that time, he was suggested not to travel. So the last step is about the reminder phrase. Reminder phrase is again a very important part, because here we are going to address all the aspects of the issue. So it's like a 360-degree view of the issue. You're just aware of the headache, but as we dig deeper, you will find that there is some stress going on in your life in your mind, and there are some cognitions. Cognition means thoughts which are going on in your mind since last few days or weeks, which regularly you have been avoiding or suppressing. And there have been various other feelings which are going on, the events which are actually related to the headache. When we begin to address that, our body and mind are, they get in a state of alignment. So mind is because is getting convinced that my issues are now being looked upon and I'm being taken care of. So that sends a signal to the body, and the body is always working in the here and now. The body in itself never has any issues. It's always the mind which creates issues in the body. So when the mind issues are addressed, of course, that sends the message to the body, and that attain its homeostasis. Also, like I said, when we are tapping, we are releasing the blockage of the energy which is stuck in the energy meridians, or the prana which is stuck. The free flow of prana then begins to happen because of tapping. Consciously, we are also verbally working on all the layers of the issue, and then finally we trace the bottom belief. When we do that, you begin to experience shifts within you and around you. So this was a basic introduction about how EFT works, and for further videos please subscribe to my channel and like this video if it was helpful for you, and looking forward to see you in the next video. Bye bye.